by providing progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional voice for the voiceless. As a Black-owned and operated station, we are committed to highlighting diverse perspectives and creating safe spaces for meaningful dialogue. We believe that everyone has something unique to bring to these political, economic, social, and cultural conversations, and we don't shy away from the hard conversations about current events. We endeavor to be a beacon of hope and understanding, while boldly challenging listeners to think more deeply about difficult topics that impact us all. With this in mind, our mission statement at KBLA Talk 1580 is simple: to create an inclusive platform that promotes civil discourse through honest dialogue and encourages personal growth among our listeners, so they can become the active agents of change. Our vision is to establish ourselves as the premier radio network with relevant programming across the beloved community, connecting people through shared experiences and collective power for lasting impact beyond these challenging times.
You ready?
Come on! It's the Queen of Royal Badness.
It's time for the Rob Report with Robin Ayers.
Highlighting people and things you should know about.
Robin's got you covered. Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Robin's got a lot to talk about.
It's the boss. It gets no better than this. Swimming and winning, champagne sipping, gold everywhere, two ends and all. This living is so magnificent. Stop dreaming it. Oh, I can show you everything I can say. I can show you.
You are listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580, where we bring you the latest in entertainment news, trending topics, and interviews. I'm your host, Robin, of course, with you Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Happy Friday. You already know what time it is. It is a good energy day. We are all happy around these parts. I hope you are too. I hope there's not too much traffic for you out there. All those good things. You might even be home. It's 6:05. All right. You might even be home. And if that is the case, then good for you. Listen, y'all already know. I can't forget to say this. There is a hurricane. Hurricane Hillary is on its way. Now, we don't know exactly where it may land, but you want to make sure that you are taking all sorts of precautions and, look out for yourself. I don't even know what to say. We've never had hurricanes here. So that's here on the West Coast. If you've been listening to the news, then you already understand. You already know this is strange behavior for us, weather behavior. So you want to make sure that you get your supplies. Andy, you have any advice?
All I'm gonna say is people forget that we had a tornado in Compton.
We did have a tornado,
and we had
Compton.
a tornado in Montebello.
We sure did.
So this hurricane. I mean, I don't know what's going on, man. If you believe in climate change and all that other type of stuff,
yeah.
It's real.
It's real. It's obviously very, very clear because we're seeing it more and more. So this is very strange for us. But again, make sure that you are taking care of yourself and you stay at least dry this weekend. If nothing more, at least stay dry this weekend. We have another great show lined up for you with our entertainment contributor that we'll have in just a little bit. I'm excited to get to it. And if you want to, of course, the window of opportunity for you to chime in on the conversation is always open for you. You can call us at 1-800-920-1580. You could also join us right now in our YouTube chat. Hey, I see you guys in the YouTube giving you a nice shout out. Thank you so much for joining me. And I appreciate all the engagement. So we'll get to, I think I have a question of the day and all the good stuff for you. No real updates for you. There's not a lot going on that I want to share about just because, I'm not going to share everything. You guys have got to know that by now. We are an entertainment show, but we are nice, good entertainment show, not all the other stuff. That's just me. But let's go ahead and get to the Rob Report.
Now it's time for a breakdown.
So, It's interesting. You know, recently we did discuss the fact that Gilbert Arenas has something to say about the LGBTQ plus community in his interview. But on the other side of the coin, he shares with us that he actually had an experience with Dwayne Wade's daughter, Zaya. So this is it took me off guard. It's interesting. We'll listen to what Gilbert Arenas has to say about it, because I think it'll be enlightening, if nothing else. Okay, so we'll talk about that. We're also gonna talk about the fact that Barbara Walters seems like she was no joke. Okay, Barbara Walters was. Now it's being alleged that she had gotten into it with a former sportscaster. We'll talk about that and what happened there. So we're going to break all of that down on the other side with you guys. If you want to chime in, absolutely, you're welcome to do that. We're going to go forward and bring in our entertainment contributor on the other side. You are listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay there.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl BB, and you're listening to me on the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you looking to steer your career in a new direction? Driving for the Culver City Bus can be your ticket to a long-lasting career with excellent benefits and paid training. Culver City Bus is looking for customer service and safety-minded bus operators to join the growing team. Culver City Bus offers on-the-job paid training, uniform allowance, and health benefits. Culver City Bus are now even putting their money in your pocket with a one-time $2,500 sign-on bonus. Let us connect you with an essential service job. If you enjoy driving, seek real opportunities for career advancement, and passionate about making a difference in your community, then we invite you to join the team. Start your journey by submitting an application at culvercity.org/job. For more information, visit culvercitybus.com or call the live customer service operator at 310-253-6500. Again, 350-253-6500.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside the Raw Report.
With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, so check this out. This is something that I've been very curious to ask about. Recently, there was a clip of rapper Yo Gotti who was doing an interview, and right in the middle of the interview, that it was being filmed as well as recorded for the radio. But in the middle of the interview, his phone rings, and his girlfriend, Angela Simmons, she calls him, and he stops right then and there in the middle of the interview, and he answers the phone on speaker. By the way, he puts her on speaker, and he says, "Hey." She says, "Hey," and he says, "I'm in the middle of an interview," and she was like, "Okay," and they hung up, and everybody, he went basically viral for that moment. Yo Gotti, if you don't know, is a rapper who's already very, very successful. Angela Simmons, obviously, is a successful entrepreneur, businesswoman, the daughter of the legendary Run DMC, and literally, he went viral, I guess, again, because everyone was saying, you know, I need a man like that. I need a man that's going to stop what he is doing and answer my calls. And then she got some props as well because, you know, she didn't question him. You know, she didn't say, "What are you doing? Who are you with?" She didn't do any of that. She just said, "Okay," when he says he's in the middle of an interview. So are those the new standards? Is that the standard for Yo Gotti, for your man to, or your woman for that matter, to stop and answer your call no matter what you are doing. I'm going to put that in the chat, and I want you to go ahead and answer that, on the poll whenever you choose to do so. Right now, we do want to get to our contributor of the day. We've got Miles Blockson, host and producer of Miles to Mogul. Hey, Miles, how are you?
Hey, Robin, how are you? I'm good.
I am good as well. Thank you so much. Happy Friday to you.
Right? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Do you have any plans over the weekend? Are you chilling at home, or are you more so going to get out there and get busy?
I need to be a homebody. I've done too much. I've been team too much for the last 3 weeks. I need some days off.
Oh, really?
So
Team too much over the last 3 weeks? My goodness. Do you care to share?
Yes. I went to Japan for a week. Then I came back.
Oh, wow.
Came back to Texas. Went to National Associations of Black Journalists in Alabama.
Wow.
Then came back and then ended up finding out I had COVID, so I had to sit out for like a week.
Oh, no.
And so now I'm finally back in the mojo, getting back with all my friends and stuff. So I'm just like, look, I need a nap. Several.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
I know.
Okay, yeah, you definitely. Okay, yeah, I'm telling you, please sit down because you've done a lot. The Japan trip alone, that's blowing my mind. What was that flight like? How many hours?
It wasn't actually bad because I flew to San Francisco, and I think from San Francisco there was about an 11-hour trek. And then when I came back, because I think you catch like the tailwind or something, it was only like 10 hours coming back to Texas.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
Yeah, so it wasn't bad. Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. And I think I stopped in LA for a second on the way back. So it was like a 10-hour flight coming back from LA.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was good. The food is good. The people are nice. It's amazing. If you haven't been, you got to go.
I definitely have to go. And my daughters, who are in love with Japanese culture, they're saying we got to go. They're telling us we got to go and make that trip happen. So shout out to you. Shout out to Miles. She over here world traveling. I love that. Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know what? I have to get your thoughts on this before we move forward with the topics of the day. I don't know if you saw that clip where Yo Gotti answered his phone in the middle of an interview to answer his girlfriend Angela Simmons' phone call. And, of course, all the women, are commenting, oh, my gosh, that's what I need my man to do. I need my man to stop whatever he's doing anytime, anywhere, and answer my call. And he got so much love. And while I think that is fantastic that he did that, I think it was great. Is that becoming the new standard? Is that I don't know if you call that low or high. I mean, but is that the new standard in your opinion?
You know what? For me, with men, like dating and everything, I've always looked at like successful men, right? And I've said, okay, they don't have a lot of time. So I always wanted more of their time because they can buy you stuff, take you places, but they don't necessarily have time to just sit around and, talk to you for hours and all of that good stuff, right? So I expect time from them. When somebody doesn't have, a lot of money or a lot of stuff going on, I expect them to be creative about dates and things like that. So I just think it comes down to like what you want as a partner. In my opinion, I'm really hard to get in touch with on the phone sometimes. I just don't like phones. I don't like how available it makes us to everybody. So even my best friend, my fiance, everybody's always like, man, I called you 2 hours ago. I texted you 2 hours ago. And I'm just like,
Yeah,
so
sorry.
I can't really, so I think if Gotti is doing that for her, man, that's great. That's absolutely amazing. Is that something that I necessarily need? No, I kind of want you to be busy. I'm cool with that. Like, I don't mind if you don't call me for a few hours because I'm off reading a book, doing something productive.
Right.
It doesn't matter to me. But if it's an emergency and I really need your attention, it's good to know, like, yo, I got a guy that's going to make sure I'm good regardless. He's never going to call me 6 hours later and be like, babe, what happened? I wasn't there for you.
Yeah.
So I get both sides of it, but, it just depends on what you want.
I like the way you broke that down, though, just in the sense of like everybody needs something different, depending upon your lifestyle and them both being very successful. She can probably understand like, okay, I knew you were going to a meeting at some point, or he's promoting his music right now. I think he's got a new album out. And so she's probably like, I already knew you were going to be doing, a media today or having a whole press day. So she's probably not tripping about it. But also, like you just said, depending upon what, if you have a lot of time on your hand, then what should you require or do you require in your relationship? And it's different for everybody. But I like that. I like that answer. So Pretty Brown Mimi says, let's make it the new standard. Okay. She says, I think it's sweet and courteous to answer your spouse/partner's call. I agree. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah,
I'll
for sure.
leave that poll up so you guys can go ahead and get in there whenever you so choose. Never too busy, Kenny Lattimore. I don't know what that means, but let's go ahead and move on with the topic right now.
That means that they answered the phone.
Oh, is that is okay? Is that what is that what Kenny Lattimore does? He answers the phone where he has a song. Maybe he has a song. Never too busy.
Yeah,
Is that
never
it?
too busy, maybe. Yeah,
okay.
so I guess he picked
And I
it
love
up,
Kenny
no matter
Lattimore.
what.
I love his music. I don't know that particular song, so but shout out. Miles, let's go ahead and talk about this first subject. Gilbert Arenas, who's not necessarily known to be okay, what's the word? He's not you would not think that he's the most kid friendly, even though he has 4 children of his own with Laura Govan. And you know what? To see Gilbert in his environment with his kids, he's actually a very nice guy. He's very involved with his kids, and it's really nice. But you know, the image of him that people see online is pretty funny. It's pretty funny. He does talk a lot of mess. He talks a whole lot of mess. He says whatever. He's very blunt with what he says, what he wants to say. So that is the side that a lot of people get to see, so they don't necessarily know another side of him. But he recently did an interview where he did an interview with Vlad TV where he was talking about the most unfair group walking this earth, basically, is the LGBTQ IA plus community. And he was saying that we talked about that in depth, that there were some points that I felt were valid. You know, he was saying they have a playbook that only they know. So when we mess up, we don't even know that we messed up until we've already messed up. And then we get, all these fingers pointed at us, or they come at us or whatever. And so we're still trying to catch up to the language. We're trying to catch up to, the isms. What do you say? How are you supposed to be? And to a certain degree, I believe that he's right with that. But having said that, and actually Andy and I, we talk about whenever we bring up this topic, we're like, bring up Gilbert Arenas. He's always like, bring him up because he made that. And I do believe a lot of people agree with Gilbert there. But recently, he's got a podcast, and we were all the internet. When I say we, all the people on the internet, we were watching this podcast where he had Dwayne Wade on, and they opened up about Zaya Wade, who is Dwayne Wade's trans daughter. And let's take a listen to what the surprising details of what Gilbert Arenas and Dwayne Wade had to say. Let's take a listen.
So the idea of Gilbert Arenas as a babysitter.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, Gilbert has a soft side, right? You know what I mean? That a lot of people can't see. It's hard for him to even see it. But kids, you can see it when it comes to kids. Like the way he was with my daughter Zaya, and even before, I'm sure Zaya shared things with Gilbert that she didn't share with me. And so the way he was with her, and I remember my family, we talk about this a lot, but the way even publicly, like anytime Zaya posts something, anytime we post something about Zaya, Gilbert gonna comment on it, right? He's been a big supporter and a big fan of hers way before the world knew Zaya and knew anything about Zaya, right? Gilbert was one of the first ones to like really show her that love from a black man. You know what I'm saying? That she probably was afraid to even get from me. You know what I mean? At one point. So like, I appreciate that.
What's so funny is we had a conversation, and
this is
the conversation was, what do you fear the most? And it wasn't Zaya yet. So
Right.
it was still Zaya.
Still Zaya.
And I was like, what do you fear the most? And thought about it. That when I'm ready, they won't support me. Oh, you good then? I said, you good then. They're supporting you. They're just waiting for you. And then from there, you can just see the relief. The relief come out. And I was like, okay. And I didn't want to tell you guys. I was like, I just wanted to be natural. And that was the thing that are they? And it was just, that's not the world. It didn't about the world. She didn't give 2 fucks about the world.
Right.
She was like, I just want to make sure that, are they going to be okay?
Nobody would expect that.
Yeah.
Zaya went to Gilbert, everybody.
Wow. Zaya went to Gilbert. Zaya opened up to Gilbert. Now, that surprised me. We never knew. Zaya has been out for a while now as a transgender young lady. And she's, she's been out and people have had all kinds of things to say, but never in a million years would I have thought she opened up to Gilbert Arenas that way. But again, she knows a different side of Gilbert. I'm sure Zaya had been friends of his kids. He's got specifically two older kids who are around the same age. And so my thoughts are just, I was more surprised. Miles, give me your thoughts, and then what does that say about a child who is kind of afraid to open up to her parents in that way in this day and age? Give me your thoughts.
Man, when you first sent me the story, I was like, this is clickbait. This is a lie. This is not. This is, to find out that Gilbert Arenas has a sweet spot, a soft spot for children, and he's like a kid whisperer. Wait, what? Like, I know him from his off-court shenanigans, and like you said earlier, he's never shy with his words. And every time you hear about him in the news, it's always something, right? And it's not necessarily positive. It's not necessarily negative, but it's just always something around his name and what he said. He always makes comments that people are like, wait, what did he say? So to hear that Zaya went to him, that's big to me. That's absolutely big. And I feel like a lot of times, too, as a child, you look to your parents and you just want to make them proud. You just want to make them happy. You just want to make sure they're happy with the job they're doing with you, which is interesting, right? That's an interesting dynamic in itself. So I totally get it. Like, sometimes you go to other people that you feel like are not necessarily your parents because you feel like, oh, I don't have the weight of the world on me to make sure that this person is proud of me. And maybe I can, talk to this person in confidence, and they'll give me some insight to how my parents might process whatever I tell them. So first of all, I commend Zaya for being so young and being able to say that to Gilbert. And secondly, I commend Gilbert, and I never thought I would be saying this, for just creating the space for Zaya Wade. Who would have thought that? Like you said, who would have thought that?
Who would have thought it? This is something that's sort of near and dear to my heart just because of my own kids who are 16. And as close as we are with our kids, my husband and I are both we have a great relationship with our kids. And we think we're like, oh, they would tell us anything. They will open up to us about anything. And I still hope I hope that that's true. I believe that to be true. But at the end of the day, sometimes I think you have to be intentional about telling your kids very often, as a matter of fact, how they can open up to you. Talk to them, having there's a TV show. I don't know if you're familiar with The Game, like the original The Game TV show. Of
course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Melanie
So
Derwin, yes.
Exactly. You know how Derwin and Melanie got down. They had this thing called the my goodness, what is it called? The Trust Circle? Or no, it's called Andy's like, I can't help you with that.
Something where they trusted each other.
Yeah.
Something where they trusted each other. Yes.
I forget the spit. I forgot. I literally forget right now. But whenever they said it, they and my husband, I know he's listening, so send me a text, babe. Send me a text, remind me of what it's called. But basically, it was the idea that whatever we said right now is safe to say. I'm not going to call you out for it. I'm not going to get upset with you for it. You can trust me. I forget what it's called. Okay. But anyway, we actually we picked that up. We took that from the show to do that within our relationship. When we also have said that to our kids and tried to tell them that, they are able to talk to us about anything that they want. They can open up. And again, I'm not saying that we have it all figured out and that it's perfect, because I'm sure you kind of learn that in life as a child. As you're growing up, you kind of learn what you can say, what you cannot say, what you feel like. Have your parents trusted? Have they shown you in the past that you could actually say something to them and trust them? Or have they blown it before? You know what I'm saying? So there possibly could be times where they still hold on to things that they haven't said to us either. But, I'm not knocking it. I actually have heard from Dwayne Wade, not personally, but he said this, just in public. He said that his daughter coming out and her mentioning that she was afraid to talk to him has made him look at himself and say, what about me did she not even feel comfortable with? I have to change something. So he began to do a lot of research and became a lot more open and accepting of that lifestyle and finding out more about the community. And so I have to applaud him. Like you said, I got to applaud Dwayne Wade for that, because that's a huge deal, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. For any parent to look at a situation and be like, what can I be doing better? I always think that's a win for the child and the parent.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people will just typically say, well, my child doesn't know anything. They're 5, they're 7, they're 10. But your child has a lot of insight that you don't have, because life has maybe somewhat jaded you. And that happens to people. And I don't think people give children enough credit for their intuition and them being in their authenticity at a young age, because life hasn't done anything yet. You know
That's
what
a
I mean?
word. Yeah, that's a whole word.
Yeah.
Andy?
Just to be a little critical, I'm not a parent, but as a parent, shouldn't you just instill maybe just a little bit of fear in your kids?
100%. What you mean? Like, well, I think I hear what you're saying. There's a difference. There is a difference, in my opinion, on this matter, because I was actually just having this conversation today about how close we need to hold our kids to us, right? And and not let the world get to them, not let the world influence them too much or whatever. But also, as much of a friend you should be to your kid, you should also very much establish that boundary that I am the parent and you are the child. So in that way, the fear, sure, because I'm a thug in real life with my kid. My kids know I'm a thug. Really, I'll turn into somebody real quick. But we're friends. They look at me when we talk, we chat. I mean, they look at me like we laugh more than there's discipline, because we set those things in place when they were very, very young. So I do agree with you, Andy, on that part. But I absolutely believe that friendship part of it is where you begin to build the trust. You'll see when you have some kids, Andy. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm not a kid. I mean, I'm not a mom either yet, but I feel like there's a difference between fear and respect, right? Or reverence for your parents. So I think when you have respect or reverence for any individual, there's going to be a sense of fear there, because you don't want to let that person down. So I think that it depends on how you frame it, right? Like, I don't want my kids to necessarily be afraid of me. I want them just to respect me as their mother. Yeah. So with that comes the apprehension on, like, how should I move? Because what would mom say? So I think it's perspective and how you look at it as well.
You absolutely got it. I'm all about that respect, but I'm about a little bit of that fear too. I'm about a little bit of that fear. Just look at me in my eyes, and you already know what's up. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna continue our conversations on the other side. Right now, we got news, traffic, and sports. You're listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Eric Bellinger, hanging out right here with my family at the Raw Report. Keep it live.
More of the Raw Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward.
I'm Esther Dillard, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. President Biden is calling his Camp David summit with leaders from Japan and South Korea historic. Biden greeted his counterparts this morning and said the trilateral partnership between the nations will serve as a force for good in the Indo-Pacific and around the world. And Black Republican presidential candidate Tim Scott was among several in his party taking part in conservative radio talk show host Eric Erickson's Gathering 2023 in Atlanta, Georgia. The South Carolina politician took aim at what he described as the lies of the radical left.
I am living proof that the American dream is alive and it is well. And that no matter where you start in this country, if you work hard, work on your character, have strong grit, all things are possible.
The theme this year was called Forward, Which Way? And that's the latest. I'm Esther Dillard from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
In Anaheim Hills, 91 westbound before the 55, got a brand new accident. This is blocking both of the fast track lanes. It stopped from Imperial Highway. We still have a SIG alert in Huntington Beach, 405 North Bennett Beach Boulevard, emergency roadwork. The two right lanes are blocked. It is stopped from Fairview Avenue. And in South LA, 110 northbound at Century Boulevard. That earlier wreck in the lanes has cleared. Still going to see slowing from El Segundo Boulevard.
Fall into autumn hiring with Indeed. Their all-in-one solution makes it easy to attract, interview, interview and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Both of LA's NFL teams have preseason games at home this weekend. The Rams play the Raiders Saturday night at SoFi, 6 p.m. kickoff. The Chargers are at SoFi on Sunday to play the New Orleans Saints, a 4 o'clock start for this one. The Dodgers are just 2 wins away from tying the longest winning streak in Major League Baseball this season. The Dodgers have won 11 straight. Tampa Bay won 13 in a row the first month of the season. The Dodgers are back in action tonight against the Miami Marlins. A win tonight matches their season-high 12-game winning streak in 2022. The Clippers need to keep in touch with the Philadelphia 76ers. James Harden reiterated Thursday evening that his relationship with the Sixers is, quote, beyond repair, and he has no plans to rejoin the team. Harden wants Sixers president Daryl Morey to trade him to the Clippers. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, it's Tavis Smiley. KBLA Talk 1580 is inviting you to join us on Saturday, September 16th, 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. for our very first economic empowerment event for the community. This event is free and is powered by Caltrans. We're doing this in association with Rambo House, and here's Rambo to tell you more.
Contracts. I'm going to say it again for all of us small business owners out there. Contracts. Rambo House, KBLA, Tavis, me. Oh my God, this is going to be massive. I truly thank Caltrans for giving us the opportunity to focus on contracts. Listen, that's what it's all about to be a small business in LA. That's how we hire our own. That's how we expand our community is contracts. KBLA1580.com is for you to have a seat at our contracts-focused event. Contract Ready does it again. We had over 900 last time. So you guys know how exciting this is. And if you just think that you want to get into contracts and you're close to it, bring your friends out for September 16th at the Marriott Hotel. Listen, you know where to register. KBLA1580.com. Come see me. I can't wait to see you. Let's do it, Tavis.
So be sure to go to KBLA1580.com for all the details. We'll see you Saturday, September 16th.
I'm David Goldberg, a bilingual elementary school teacher and president of the California Teachers Association. As we start a new school year, there's something new happening in California's public schools. They're called community schools, where families, students, educators, and communities are making decisions as one.
As a parent, I feel like we're really valued as partners in the education system.
Community schools are bridging the systems of academics with the community.
The curriculum is designed around the students and their academic needs.
I know community schools are working. We see it in parent involvement. We see it in student academics.
We saw double-digit gains in math, English, and reading scores.
It's a more innovative, holistic approach to educating students.
I really feel like this is the first time that we're really seeing a system change in our school.
It's innovative, fresh,
and they're already working.
We invite you to learn more about community schools as we come together to reimagine public education here in California. And that's why CTA brought you this message.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Bob Business Ready, and B-Warp. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial mission to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talents, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. As black folk, we know how to face tragedy and not fall into despair. And yet sometimes the points of pain are felt so acutely, especially when we know full well that we're being treated unfairly by our so-called justice system that at times appears to be anything but just. After more than 30 years of public service, Mark Willie Thomas is set to be sentenced on Monday, August 21st for his conviction on bribery and conspiracy in a federal corruption trial. As you well know, Ridley Thomas was found not guilty on 12 of the 19 counts the feds brought against him. This is not your typical corruption case. No lavish trips, no victim, no cash in a brown bag or stashed away in a freezer, no illegal contributions from a wealthy donor, no money received by the accused, no use of taxpayer dollars. There is therefore no need to incarcerate Ridley Thomas to protect the community. Indeed, the probation department has recommended a mere 18-month sentence. But the feds, they want MRT to serve 6 years. 6 years. How is that fair? This happens far too often to defendants who just happen to look a lot like you and me. First, they target you. Then they overcharge you. Then they fight to keep certain folk off the jury. Then they spend millions of your tax dollars prosecuting a victimless $100,000 criminal allegation. Then, typically, they win, and why shouldn't they? In reality, no case of the United States government against you is really a fair trial, if you feel me. Then, after they win, they ask for a sentence of more than 3 times what the probation department is recommending. Again, I ask, how is that fair? I read the federal government's summary document regarding the sentencing of MRT, and the charged language they use is both revealing and despicable. You can clearly see their disdain for the constituent community, for the black clergy who have stood with MRT, and mostly for MRT, daring to exercise his constitutional right to even go to trial to defend himself. The feds demanding a 6-year sentence in this case is their way of punishing an uppity Negro who dared to fight back. Let's hope that the judge in this case sees through this racist masquerade and delivers a sentence of time commensurate with the crime, even as MRT appeals this verdict. There are no good times to be black in America, and sometimes are worse than others. For KBLA Talk 1580, I'm Tavis Smiley. We welcome your comments.
Keeping you informed about what's really going on. Who's got next? And what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Never too busy. I'm never too busy for you, babe. Never too busy. No.
Yes, you are listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Shout out to Andy. Andy, don't miss. Okay, that is Kenny Lattimore. Never too busy. Thank you for that. That was actually who said that? That was Pretty Brown Mimi who started that off, and Andy went ahead and finished it. Man, Andy, he don't miss. He don't miss. Good to have you back, Andy. Thank you so much. We appreciate you as always. We are having an interesting conversation. Shout out to Avi Bernard, who we were having this whole discussion. We took it off the mic and started having a discussion about parenting and what are the different nuances between respect and fear. You know, should kids fear their parents and things like that? And before we move forward with our contributor, Miles Blockson, let's go ahead and get this comment from Fahima. Hey, Fahima, how are you today?
Hi, Robin. Just very briefly, you know, we've all been on the receiving end of varying parenting styles. And that being said, as a clinician, I've had conversations with clients who are rearing children. And the question would be, do you want to have the type of relationship with your child where they know that there's unconditional love and support and that they can come and talk to you about anything? Or do you want them to be fearful and hide things from you because they know that, or they're assume that the response is going to be negative. And I think the former is the best approach. And I think I can say in fairness that your children probably have the former. They know that they have unconditional love and support, and that they would only want to do things that would make you feel proud, and not fearing, oh, well, I don't want to hear her mouth, so I'm not going to discuss that. And so I think that we want to have unconditional love and support where our children know that they can come to us with anything.
100% agree with you, Fahima, and I appreciate that comment and your expertise in the matter. I will say this, though. I think we're starting to talk about something different when it comes to fear. I never want my kids to fear coming to me to share something with me, no matter how bad it is. And my husband and I, we talk to our kids about this all the time. Whatever it is, no matter how much trouble you think you'll be in, no matter how bad the thing is that you said or did to someone or something, you can always come to us, because yes, by far the ratio completely outweighs when we're talking about the unconditional love and that acceptance. However, when it comes to fear, if we include that into this conversation whatsoever, the fear that I would say that I'm not mad at and I'm okay with my children is the fear of what would happen if I did something intentionally. I was out here doing something, or I had the opportunity to do something. I kind of don't want those kind of problems at my house. Like, even though my parents would be accepting, we'll get over it, we'll get through this, right? To even stop them from doing something, I want them to have a healthy, small amount of fear. Right. Well, this is the conversation. Fahima, this is the conversation.
Wanting to disappoint you.
Sure, this is the one second. This is the conversation that Avi and I were having outside when we were on our break. This is the conversation that we were having, and you said exactly what Avi said. He says basically that it is respect. They won't do things because of the respect. Basically, that's what. And I agree with him. We agree with each other, and ultimately we're saying the same things. But there are semantics here, and there are very small nuances that say respect is all across the board. This is my opinion, and I'm not a clinician, but respect is all across the board. But respect in a small amount of fear is something totally different. They are totally different, but they're semantics, and I believe that they're just small nuances that I believe in, that I am that way with my children. So again, Avi and I completely respect each other, but we agreed to disagree on the matter. So I appreciate you, Fahima. I thank you so much for your call. I have to go ahead and get Miles Blockson back on so that we can go ahead and get to this next conversation. But wow, what a conversation. I love this conversation. And by the way, I am open to being, to receiving information. I'm open to being educated on the matter. I'm talking about how I am with my children, how things have worked with me. I have twins. They're 16 years old, and this is just how we roll in our family. But I will say that we are completely friends. They have we had a call and we lost them. Okay. They have a huge amount of respect for my husband and I, and but they do have that respect as well as, maybe a little bit of fear, because they don't want certain things. Miles Blockson, let's go ahead and talk about this story very quickly on former sports broadcaster Sage Steele, who had just gone through a whole lot that we won't necessarily have to get into, but Sage opens up about the fact that Barbara Walters, the late great Barbara Walters, actually assaulted her when she was at The View. Do we have this clip? Let's go ahead and listen to her explain this, and then I'll get your thoughts on the matter, Miles.
You about Barbara Walters, she attacked you? Wait, what?
It was right after that segment with the Obama segment, and went in the back, and so it was Barbara, Whoopi, and myself in the dark green room off to the side. I was probably about 4 feet from the wall and the trash can, and Barbara was standing over here in front of me, and she just started to back up towards me, and looked at me and got close and elbowed me and it pushed me back into the wall in the trash can. I was like, what did this just do to me? Like, this 140-year-old woman just tried to like tackle me. What is happening right now? And some of the producers saw it. Whoopi saw it. And Whoopi was like, come here. And she was great. And she pulled me aside in her little area and she's like, don't you let her do it. And I'm like, am I in a movie right now? A legend, one of the legends in this industry just tried to beat me up.
Okay. Miles, what do you do if you go to The View or something like that, something on that level, and an icon is literally she's running the thing, she's running the show, she is the big dog on set, and she sort of bullies you and assaults you? What do you do? Please describe this to me. I don't know what I would have done.
Look, first of all, Sage Steele is 5'11". Barbara Walters is 5'5". Like, come on, Sage. Like, when I first read this, I was like, wait, what's happening here? We got a 6-inch advantage here? What are we working with here? And then we got heels on. So we know that she's taller than that in heels. Anyway, I'm like, you let this little woman that you called 140 years old, first of all, you're making a disrespectful comment there. I love Barbara Walters, by the way.
Yes.
But I don't see her as Suge Knight. She's 5'5". She's like 120 pounds soaking wet. I'm sorry, Sage.
Okay.
I don't believe you. It's
Right.
hard to believe you right now. But if this happened to me, I would probably be like, do y'all have camera footage anywhere? Okay, perfect. I need that. I got a case. I just got assaulted by Barbara Walters. Boom, done. That's what I would have done.
Okay, so
That's
you
how I
bring
would've
a
handled it.
case on the Barbara Walters.
Look,
a lawsuit on her.
If this is real, you know what I mean?
So you don't even believe Sage, okay?
I don't know if this is real. I don't know if this is real. There's too many things that are not adding up or aligning for me in this story right now, Robin. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fair. I wish we had more time to discuss it, but I think it's interesting what happens when you go into a space where you probably want to be on your, I don't want to say your best behavior, but you want to be accepted, and you don't want to be blackballed, or you don't want to do blacklisted from a show or any show for that matter against someone who has that kind of power. You know what I'm saying? And so I wonder if that has anything to do with it. She did not explain what happened thereafter. What happened after Whoopi said, "Don't let that happen," because Whoopi, also an icon in that same space, says, "Don't let her do that to you." I think it would have been cool had Whoopi said something to Barbara, like, "Hey, you know what I'm saying? Don't. What was that for? That was unnecessary." So it's almost like you need to sometimes speak up for the underdog. And at that point, Sage Steele, of course, was the underdog. So that's interesting. But rest in peace to Barbara Walters. We'll never know now, unless Whoopi Goldberg says something. We will never know.
Yes, so if Whoopi says something, she tweets about this, hopefully within the week here, then we'll have some clarification, and then I might be issuing an apology next time to Sage Steele. But for right now, I don't know. I can't believe it. I don't want to believe it.
Okay. Miles, thank you so much. It's always great talking to you. Let everybody know where they can find you online.
You can find me at Miles Tomogul on Instagram. That's MILESTOMOGUL, and milestomogul.com. Thanks for having me, Robin.
I appreciate you so much. Enjoy the rest of your night and the weekend as well. Stay dry out there.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
When we come forward, let's go ahead and get to our Who's Got Next and what not to miss on the other side. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Denzel Whitaker, and I'm on the Raw Report.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Maisha Cairo here with a quick recap from my time at JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. There were speakers Ian Dunlap, Damon John, Lynn Richardson, MC Light, Don Kennedy, to name a few. Take a listen to what Justin Grant, Community Development Lead at Chase's Advancing Black Pathway, let's see what he had to say.
So I'm Justin Grant. I lead community development and national partnerships for JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Pathway KBLA strategy. And so we're focused on strengthening the economic foundation of Black communities, and we're making targeted investments in programs like the Advancing Black Wealth Tour to help us get our tools and resources out to the community to drive sustained impact over time.
So when it comes to Black and brown people, it sounds like Chase is making it their personal responsibility not only to facilitate these events, but to educate and provide resources. So, Mr. Grant, I have to ask, what does wealth building look like for the individual?
It's home ownership. It's having that freedom to be able to start your own business and create jobs in your community. And it's having that long-term plan towards retirement, having that vision for what you want your life to be, and you have the resources to actually live it.
I'm Aisha Cairo. Thanks for sticking around. That was my recap from Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. First stop was here in LA, and they're taking it national.
Have you heard about Lendistry? Lendistry is a national Black-led small business lender that is headquartered right here in LA. Once you've started your business, Lendistry provides flexible financing options starting at $50,000 to help you access the affordable capital needed to grow. Whether financing is needed to increase working capital, acquire a business, purchase inventory and equipment, or refinance debt, Lendistry has a solution for you. Lending products range from traditional business term loans and non-revolving lines of credit to SBA 7A loans and commercial real estate financing. Lendistry's pre-application process is simple and does not impact your credit score. Visit lendistry.com/KBLA to learn more and to get started with an application right from the website.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news. You're inside the Rob Report. With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, it's this song right here that's fire. Okay, I hope you guys like it. This is Ayanna Lee called Gangster of Love. Woo!
Hope floats, head underwater, it's harder to breathe. Oh, and I don't want no smoke. They said it would hurt when it happened to me, and I found out you weren't what I thought you would be. I ain't boy crazy, not baby, not confused, I'm disillusioned. I ain't choosing nobody, and you ain't using nobody. Falling for you, I don't know about it. Could be cool, depend on how you go about it. But you better not tell nobody, 'cause round here they call me the gangster of love. And loving me might be dangerous. If I give you the keys to my heart and you break it, then just know I might key your car, because baby, I'm never changing up. I'm still the gangster of love. Yeah.
Let's let that play a little bit.
Heart of gold and some brass knuckles. A good time, but I'm a bad motherfucker. Sugar sweet, but I put a lick up on a sucker. Hurt me, I bet you'll never hurt another. I ain't boy crazy, not baby, not confused, I'm disillusioned. I ain't choosing nobody, and you ain't using nobody. Falling for you, I don't know about it. Could be cool, depend on how you go about it. But you better not tell nobody, 'cause round here they call me the gangster of love. Woo.
Ayanna Lee, Gangster of Love. Wow. I just absolutely love being able to find new music, find new artists who do something, you know, who are real R&B. If that's what you do something refreshing. And to me, That's what she was given to me. DJ Black 909 says, and who says R&B singers can't be hard like rappers? Wow, that's a great point. Because Ayanna Lee, well, I think also if you incorporate beats, like hard beats. Fun fact, that's why Ja Rule blew up the way that he did, according to him, according to his camp, because he was rapping, but he was able to bring R&B sounds and R&B productions with his rap. And nobody was really doing that at the time. So if you think about even Beyonce, she does R&B, but if you think about some of her harder songs where it's like she's rapping like Diva, or that's a hard knock. She's got several like that, but it's when she's rapping, kind of rapping, singing with like an R&B beat or a hard like hip hop beat with her R&B singing. So it's interesting. It's very interesting the way that you can combine the two that makes something very, very nice to listen to. So yes, Ayanna Lee, Gangster of Love. I'm adding that to my playlist. DJ Black 909 says, reminds me of Love on the Brain. Okay, very nice. Listen, it has been a great show. I want to absolutely bring back this conversation about parenting. I am just so intrigued to listen to learn, I guess, other people's point of view on parenting. I love it. And, I have to say, shout out to me and shout out to Robin Ayers, who, we raised these beautiful young ladies who are doing well. We've raised them. And so we know a thing or two. And so anyway, that's that. That's that. I probably will take this conversation to social media. Okay, I will, just to give you a heads up. Listen, what I don't want you to miss. This is great. I am so excited to say that Usher has added now a couple of new months worth of concerts to his Las Vegas residency. He says backed by popular demand, because he ended that he's ending it very soon, actually, or it has ended. And he added November and December to the Dolby Live at Park MGM. So tickets are going to go on sale Friday, August 25th at 10 a.m. So you could go ahead and grab your tickets if you have not seen Usher. I have not seen Usher. I definitely want to make my way down there. But you could go ahead and do that if you're interested in seeing him in Las Vegas. This might be your last shot to do that. You already know it's Friday. That means Zoe Williams is at home chilling. Now, I don't know where Zoe is, but he is having his best of show that's going to come on right after this. So you guys definitely don't want to miss that. I'm excited to come back next week for a whole other show. It's going to be a great one, as you already know. Again, stay dry, stay safe, be well over the weekend. My name is Robin Ayers, and remember today and every day forward to be a blessing.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Esther Dillard, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Dozens of criminal cases worked by 5 Black former Memphis police officers